running a country is different to running a company. For President Trump, the move to the White House and being the president is in some ways a move down. A president probably earns less, but more importantly, a president has far less ability to act unilaterally. Faced with this reality, the initial hiccups of President Trump are actually understandable, and it will simply take time to re-establish a new working balance. That is, if the press stops attacking every trivial opportunity and stops creating some invented opportunities too. Leaders in business have several masters, and it is a difficult job to balance the needs of the shareholders, the employees, the customers, the stock exchange, and public opinion at large. This careful juggling act is no small burden for a chief executive and their closest team. That said, it is not always possible or wise to pander to all parties, especially when some demands are unreasonable or unattainable. Voters, as employees, have a tendency to interpret firm and clear leadership as being intransigence and autocracy. There is another significant difference between a president taking office and a corporate chief executive taking up their post. In the case of a corporate CEO, the company that he steps into is fully manned and working. The board of executives exists, the staff for support, the department heads, and senior management is all experienced and in situ. Yet in the American political system, the equivalent of the entire board, support staff, department heads, and senior management are appointed as new boys at the change of an administration, something that would cripple a business if the same approach were adopted. No CEO would walk into Washington, D.C. and expect the system to be so stupid and ineffective, and the Trump administration was probably equally surprised by such an inefficient system. The system in this respect is clearly stacked against anyone outside the Washington establishment being elected to the post of president. Being president can't be easy. As with President Obama, President Trump is facing some resistance to change. It appears that much of the resistance is based upon poor communication of both the aim and the intentions of the Trump administration. The real aim and intentions were far from clear in the early days, and the press and media are contributing to continue this misunderstanding. But if we consider without the rhetoric what is proposed and why, the aims and intent do not sound cruel, dangerous, or stupid at all. Firstly, there are in the West fewer and fewer low-paid, low-skilled jobs. This was a major factor for Brexit, which President Trump, unlike most Americans, has clearly understood. A responsibility for an American president is to protect the existing livelihoods and the opportunity for livelihoods of all American citizens. Second, there's the issue of terrorism. Isolationism is a strategy, and while one can criticize this option, it can be effective. This is, in effect, the blocking of borders with some peoples, questioning the legitimacy and cost of NATO and other relationships, and several other ideas and muses of the administration. Thirdly, there's the draining of the swamp. On this, while little visible has happened, the aim is not so unreasonable or undesirable. Fourthly, there is the question of the manipulating press. Other articles on this channel have shown that there is some basis for the claims that the administration is making. In business, a boss merely needs to ensure people know what they are to do. As a president, the why something must be done, together with the consequences, needs to be communicated first. Americans are hurting because their jobs are at risk. Americans were hurt when the Twin Towers fell. Americans suffer as a result of the backhanders in politics. And the American way of life is at risk if the press can distort reality. From this perspective, the president is at least attempting to address things that hurt, cause suffering, and pose a risk to the American citizens every day. In other words, and despite the ridicule, trying to do his job.